Hello, we're Lantern Valley Studios, and today is May 1st, 2022. Monthly update.
Yeah, so all of April, we did our first attempt. We didn't do it too much, but team writing World 5. So one of our worlds, which is about like a traveling circus and a couple people trying to join it, we did our first real attempt where I sit somewhere and I start typing, except we grabbed stuff that I had already written, so we just kind of went through
scanned through it and was fixing sentences as we go, and then we'd find a place that has a bunch of point form notes and have to put that kind of into actual dialogue,
which worked pretty well. It did go pretty quick. Like we got through a few chapters in just like a few days. Really, we didn't do it more than a few days, and then we ended up doing another thing for a few days, which was the Pill Reality and Mix Masters and the Overscapes, the really wacky stuff in our stories, and just that we've been working on with like Lantern Valley and the bigger projects. Going into novel form, it hasn't been as absurd and over the top and wacky when it's just me kind of like using words and learning how to novel. So we sat down and we actually went into what in World 5 in this story is that over the top stuff, because I had only written like one or two scenes with the big over the top scenes, and there weren't complete scenes yet. I just wrote down the notes of it, but then it was like, what else exactly is this? Like, what goes on here? Almost like the climactic, crazy action over the top stuff. It's like I'd have to sit down and think about that for a long time. So instead, we started to go into that. So those are kind of like the two main things, I guess.
Yeah, and I feel like there was just moments where we were maybe gonna like go through a scene or something, but then we'd realize we have to lay out a bunch of stuff first, and then things like that.
Yeah.
Definitely, that was happening for World 23, or World 23 was a lot more grunt work.
Yeah, World 23, this was our second month doing that world, and it's like everything that we took note of for the whole first month and a bit was like massive exposition piles that were almost directly transcribed from
audios of us talking about what the heck is going on.
And then me going into it after, and then like extrapolating upon that and expanding it into things, but there was no scenes. There was no indication of how this was actually going to show up in the story at all. It was just information about how this really weird world works. So we kept running into hiccups like that. It's like, we know what the story is, like, from beginning to end, but no scenes, no thing that a character does. We just know roughly what the characters are like and where, they go into this place or something. And that was it. So
just getting used to the paradigm of, this character is called a star, and they go into this place called a slice, and they're also, that like there's just all the different names we had for different things, and it's like, okay, what's
so much terminology wrapping itself around and changing all the time too as we added things and changed things. Yeah, it's also like, really, it's only our second world trying to do these in novel format.
Directly as a novel,
which is such a different thing that it almost like worked better with World 5, but in World 6 it's because, or World 23 is because we needed to like figure out a lot of the nuances, where World 5 was just like character interactions. We had a loose idea of things and it was just like a lot of going. So there's like a story there, but we still don't have the magic system, hence we had to go back and be like, what exactly happens in these big scenes? And then for the new one, we know some of the big scenes, or like how this magic system works and stuff, because we spent so much time working that out, that we lack the other side that we did with World 5, which is the character interactions. So it's interesting. Eventually we'll figure out some kind of balance and things will work out. But I guess that's what this month is for. Yeah. We got a new world coming in again.
So we're going to be going back to World 26 to continue outlining it, and then
which is one that we did do during like the World 5 area, and it was going really well when we stopped, because we took up a new world with World 23. So we're going to keep up that again and see how far we could take that.
And then start World 18 as well.
Yeah. So yeah, a new world and then an old one. This was like the second one we ever randomized.
Like 2 years ago.
When it was like not in novel form at all. And me writing 3 novels so far, when we didn't outline them in novel form, has turned all 3 of them into a disaster. This is not one of those worlds. So to avoid turning it into a disaster and me needing to fix it, we're going to actually re-outline it in novel form. So it's so it's
and
the first time.
It's going well. I kind of forget exactly what phase it is in. But
yeah, same.
It's definitely coming up, getting all filled in, and
it was fun and funny and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we didn't really have the magic system again, but now we're tackling that. Like the same thing with that, with the warps, because there's like these little warps that people go into, and we just avoided it. We ignored it the whole time, but now we can figure out loosely what these things are supposed to be.
Yeah, because we're going to be incorporating something from one of our very old stories into
really the
magic system.
core of LV itself is something that we've not incorporated into the novels yet. So once we take that and we actually make use of it, it should work out. Yeah, we have no idea how it's going to go. We don't know what we're doing.
But they are definitely going to be chaotic and nonsensical and amazing.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Today, May 1st, we have 2 packages from last month. $4 each, bunch of behind the scenes. And we'll see you next month.